And on the wind.
Yes, I second that.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it shouldn't be windy day.
I'll just carry your ball.
We played yesterday's in the tournament, and that's definitely a challenge.
Okay, we are good.
Meeting's called to order at 2:05.
Okay, roll call. Chair Scott Marsh. Vice Chair Mitch Waldman.
Here.
Trustee Joe Demore.
Yes.
City Council Trustee Kim Wright.
Present.
And staff, we have Director Christina Underhill.
Here.
Parks and Recreation Deputy Director Brad Anderson. And Recreation Supervisor Nancy Baum.
All right then. Does anybody have any amendments or corrections to the meeting? Call for a motion to approve the meeting.
To approve the
Second.
I'll second.
The minutes are approved. We're here to have any public comment.
No.
All right, so we'll move on to new business, and that will start with staffing changes.
Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, Allison Boyd departed the city. And so we have a vacancy for a manager role. And what we've chosen to do with that position is actually split it up. So Malley and our senior services will have their own manager. And we'll have a separate manager, recreation manager for the recreation center and farm and train. So interviews are being conducted next Monday. We have 2 internal candidates for those 2 positions. And so we'll have an update here shortly for you with who your new manager is.
Now, there's 2 managers. What are they?
So we have the senior services manager for Malley and all senior programs, and then recreation manager for the recreation center. And prior, Allison was overseeing events in the Malley Center and the Recreation Center and Farm and Train. And we thought that was a very large workload for one person to do, and so we're splitting that up. So there'll be a better focus on each of the centers.
Okay.
And each get half of what she was making.
Correct, yeah, yeah, exactly, no. So yeah, well, after the 13th, we'll know who our new managers are, and we'll have that update for you at the next trust fund meeting.
So it sounds like you're hiring internally.
It will be internal, yeah.
Okay, and then will those positions be posted for?
So the way it's gonna work is the 2 individuals that have applied for the positions are currently supervisors. If they get through the interview process successfully, their positions will be dissolved. And then we're looking to actually bring in coordinator positions that are kind of front line to start building up the hierarchy in our department. Because right now it's literally part-time for the most part, and then supervisors and then managers. And we don't have really a lot below that. And we'd like to build that structure up. So we can, I mean, we get interns and they're really great, but they're not ready to be a supervisor yet, and they want more than part-time. And so we'd like to start structuring the department so we can accommodate people coming out of school and be a good place for them to learn and grow in their careers.
Smart.
I wasn't invited to apply. You're okay, all of that.
We need you to drive a train.
Do a background check first.
And what train it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty red, white, and blue, but
No.
it is the gorgeous.
When's the delivery?
It's here.
Oh,
I have driven.
Yeah, right. Okay, and open to the public.
not yet, not yet. May 25th. We'll talk more about that at the end.
Well, yeah, we can, okay, and room signs.
Room signs, so the trust fund approved the purchase of the room signs here for the Malley Center, and that was done in November of 22. The signs were to be completed last year, and that never happened, 22. So we're in the final stage of that. I met with the company, Fast Signs, who's doing the signs, just finalize things today. And I'll get the new invoice and stuff and production as soon as I approve the minor changes we made, we'll move forward with that.
So the pricing has increased or?
The pricing, I'm not sure what the pricing was back, well, actually, there was no work done on it in 22. So, or in 23, so until the very end, I think it started to move a little bit, but pricing stuff really didn't come until 24. So the price that I have right now is $8,546. This will come out of the trust fund. Now, that may be plus or minus, had to make a couple additions to a couple signs, but we also removed a couple signs, but it'll be somewhere in that neighborhood is what the final cost will be.
How many signs total? I'm sorry.
He's renaming the rooms or it's just?
Yeah, there was a little bit of renaming. That was one of the final edits that we did with that one. The one was the Cheyenne Mountain Library room. But since we don't use it as a library thing, that was changed to the Buzz Center. So it matches the big sign that's up there. And then everything, if you go down the hallway and everything, it says that these are conference rooms. So it took the room, the word conference off and just left it as a room. Still have the mountain theme, so it'll be the Long's Peak room, the Flatirons room, the El Dorado room. So they're still in that theme. We just got rid of the word conference in that one.
Blue sky instead of that.
That was one that we catch, anytime we do any type of signage or anything that comes up, we run that through communications, and that was one of the things that came up and said it's gotta be blue sky room, and then we actually even took that totally away. And because it is still next to the ballroom, the sign here in the hallway will say ballroom, so it matches what's actually going into the big entrance, the double doors and stuff too, so there's no controversy with Mount Evans or blue sky. Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons that we chose to do that was because of the Braille was incorrect. Has anybody proofread the Braille?
I haven't done it. I've been guaranteed that it is there. So I will make sure upon delivery of that one and install that the Braille is correct. So we'll make sure
I'm
that.
an unsighted person to.
There's, there is someone.
Is that the
here
correct
that
word?
will just, yeah.
A blind person to.
She's actually the one that said your braille doesn't say what's supposed to. So we will use her.
Imagine what it-
Or she said it didn't say anything. Yeah, it's probably.
It's like they all through the drive-through.
Okay. Next, I would
35
like.
signs. Sorry,
35.
Thank you.
That's right.
plus or minus one or two. One in that neighborhood.
Okay, any other questions?
And when, did they say when they should be ready or done or?
They will probably be done by the end of the month.
Oh, perfect. You have a sign?
Sign cutting. I like it.
Okay.
That's, I,
Next on the agenda is a clock. I would like to see or discuss having a clock, a digital clock within the gym. One that is big enough that elderly can see it from anywhere in the gym. Date, and time. Now, I don't know if the current clock, you can tell us, I'm sure Nancy, is it battery or electric?
It's battery. So the
Battery.
problem with that clock, I was gonna go and change the battery, but you have to balance on the ladder and unscrew the cage. That's the problem. So that can be a little tricky. So I didn't
Now,
wanna,
for some reason, I
Ball.
thought the clock was correct. One day last week.
oh, really? Interesting.
Correct.
That's
Friday.
funny.
So, I mean,
I haven't checked it
a
today.
dead clock is accurate twice a year.
Right.
So it's just, or twice a day. But it's never been reliable.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so if we can have a digital clock that is remote controlled, I mean, we can change it without
Mhm.
climbing a ladder. That there's a safety issue and a
Right.
accuracy issue. And I don't have any idea. I know Shelley has one in her office
Yeah.
that is electric.
It's electric and I haven't gone to look after she told me that, but I'm assuming there's no plugs up there.
Well, we were talking about putting it on the
There's
other
a
wall
plug-
where there
there's
is a plug.
Directly above the scoreboard.
But the thing is, we also have to get a cage, I think, to go over it.
Correct.
So we would have to research that a little bit.
What would go up that high? What sport would that?
volleyball.
Yeah.
But you know what? As long as we're gonna do it, we might as well do it right.
Yeah,
And put a cage on around it. The cage, well, I know when the government gets involved, it'll be a $400 cage.
hopefully not.
Well, we don't. So
Yeah,
anyway, but you get a big enough sign and like I say, the one that Shelley has, I believe is a little bit smaller than what we want. And
Okay.
I saw it, but I don't.
And how big is the one she has and how big are?
I'm gonna say it's probably 12 or 14
Yeah,
inches.
that's not right.
That's 24.
I probably should have brought it in. I know that Shelley's researching this too and looking at options.
And
So-
does anyone know how much the one Shelley has, how much hers was?
I don't know that offhand. I could
The
get that
ones that
information. for you.
Stell's looking at, they're under $1,000. Now, the one we kind of looked at, and I touched base a little bit with Shelley on that one, is the one that has 8-inch numbers on it. So it's a pretty, huge.
Yeah.
So it should be good enough for people to see that one as far as looking and making sure that it has the date, date and time on it. We'll see if that's available on some of those, but,
So what's the
Should be
purpose of
good.
needing the date if you're in a rec center?
You don't really need the date, right? Just the time.
I can see the time and.
It isn't-
seconds
it
because
isn't.
you're doing something.
It isn't critical, but it's, I just think that as long as we're doing it. I can imagine that there's gonna be much of a price difference between just the time and a day.
So is the time up here and then the date and day?
or a lot of times they'll alternate, they'll say the day, then you'll switch to the time. Is what they do, they'll go back and forth. with that.
You have the ability to do like a stopwatch or a seconds clock on it or something. I think that would be.
Probably.
Well, the scoreboard has that. We don't need that for just simple, when we're in the gym to, I mean, if it was only a time clock, that's fine.
Okay.
But to be able to operate it, then that would mean as a stopwatch or whatever, a lap counter, then somebody would have to have the control for it.
Right.
And you don't want to don't trust me with that.
So I guess my next question is then, in the workout area, what type of clock is there? Because if you have it in one area, well, people can say, it'd be really nice if we had it in the workout area also.
But that's usually been working. That's what we have to look through the glass to see the time.
And that's
Even
similar to
workout.
this, just a. Flat.
So it's just a clock like this in the workout. And it's low enough to
Mhm,
where you can get to it without any trouble.
mhm.
The one that's in the gym is up high and it's behind a cage. So that the cage had to be removed and go into whatever, replace the battery, change the time, twice a year for daylight savings. If
Right,
that-
and it's just asking, thinking forward, if people are gonna say, well, if you're nice it up, why don't you do, oh, there he is.
Well, we might be able to use Shelley's clock for the
That's
gym
true.
and
That's
then
a
get
good
a new
idea.
clock for the,
Yeah.
And what's showing you?
she's gonna have to get a watch.
These are well-
Yeah, it's not being used.
Just buy her a nice little desk.
We'll get her a test clock. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Got a little research to see if they're impact resistance and stuff, a lot of times that.
That's a good idea.
Sure that
Yeah.
type of environment.
Yeah,
So
avoid the cage.
we'll research it and.
Brad, are you good at making little plexiglass boxes to put,
I did have a plastics class in high school, but that was
there you go,
10 years ago, maybe.
yeah.
Eventually.
Remember that?
I've got a grandson in the
So Brad, you're as old as I am.
Acrylic labels, everything.
Yes.
Okay, so is anybody opposed? I guess, do we need to put that out for a vote? See if we move forward?
Don't we need to investigate the pricing?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I'm just saying to move forward,
Okay.
not to buy it, but to move forward. And if Brad would be kind enough to look into that and get a,
So you're looking into the price of the clock and a cage to go around it
And
and
installation.
installation.
and installation.
I move that we proceed on the investigation into an electronic clock for the gym.
Okay, so we'll move forward with that. And Mr. Anderson, if you would take that to the next step, and get it the price, see what it is. All right? Does anybody have any old business they want to bring up? That's enough. Move on to reports. The financial report. I don't have a copy.
We usually start with the buy. The, 2016, 2085.
Oh, it's on.
Oh, you read that.
Let us know if you have any questions on this. At least we're not in profit loss at this point. Making some funds again.
Well, because nobody understands how that works anyway. We're, um, So we actually, we've made $3,000. We're up 3,000. We haven't made any, but we're up $3,000 at a $25.
Does this just sit in a savings account or is it invested in, you know, like?
My understanding is it is grouped with the other investments that the city has. And we own a percentage of it, or it's divided, but it's all one big fund. So our, the money that the Malley Trust Fund money is invested along with, the city of English.
So we don't know what it's invested in or.
It's invested almost entirely in bonds,
Okay,
just very, the same as,
it's kind of safe type of investment.
very safe. Yeah.
And there's a little note on the bottom of this page that kind of explains what
Yeah,
it's invested in. Yeah.
Oh, there's approved by you. That's the right.
I don't think I can prove any of this.
City council.
Yeah, it's not come to me yet. Perfect.
Okay, so, and this is, unrealized. Because, here we go, not even gonna, all right, so anyway, it looks good, we're financially secure, and I think we can afford a clock. And room size.
So nice clock.
Well, that,
Yeah. Gold plated.
Diamond numbers.
Yeah.
Electrical work. Ouch.
we didn't do it.
Okay, any questions on the,
No. This is back up over business. All right. Something.
we'll be back.
Thank you. Did we get the piano? I know we approved last time, the piano fixed or did? hire someone?
Tuned.
Tuned, yeah.
We did not hire someone to tune the piano yet,
Okay.
but we can, absolutely. I have to get some prices on that.
Okay, yeah, because I thought it was something we approved.
Well, what she may be talking, I don't remember anything.
I think we were gonna-
Yeah.
Oh,
We were gonna try to get someone to come and play during lunch was our plan.
It's, well, I thought we approved because we could connect it to,
We hadn't, we hadn't, yeah, we
Yeah.
hadn't proved anything, but we were going to get priced on, Shelley was getting priced on what it would take to get the player part of it repaired.
Oh, I see.
because I thought we.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought
We
she
did
had
not do that.
said it would cost like $4,000 and it was something that we had approved to go forward with it because it's sitting there collecting dust.
My
We were gonna
recollection-
get the.
My recollection is that we were going, she had an estimate from a few years previous. She said the last time I checked, and that had been a little while back, we need to show that. But anyway,
And this is why you're in charge. I was just, it just came to
Yeah.
mind and I didn't see
It,
anything in it, so.
the last was, Shelley was, she said she had an estimate from a few years previous, but that wasn't current. May or may not be able to get the parts anymore
Right.
because of the age of the piano and the electronics there. So there's maybe somebody can fix it, maybe it just all needs to be replaced, or maybe it's not replaceable.
Yeah, we just pick up the.
So depending on how much it would cost, is it worth $5,000 to have a player piano? Or do we just have, like you said, have somebody come in?
Come in.
We'll get some quotes and we'll have those for you guys. I'll
Okay,
share those with you.
perfect.
Once I
Thank
get
you.
them. Yeah.
Okay, then we move on to staff reports.
Okay, so Shelley sent me a little thing to report on for her. She says fitness classes have seen an increase in participation, which is great. The new body circuit class that we just started is going really well. Meets on Mondays from 4:30 to 5:30, and Anthony Jin is the new instructor. So that's going well. Line dancing added an absolute beginner class, which is good because everybody says, oh, I want to come to line dance, but I don't know what I'm doing. So they added a class so we could accommodate more people. And it's actually outgrown the room here at Malley, so they're gonna now bump over to the other rec center to meet in their big room there. And then beginning and intermediate pickleball is back on Wednesday mornings through August. In September, league fall volleyball starts, so this availability will not be until next May. That's Shelley. Some events that are coming up for Malley that are kind of exciting. We're doing another live radio show. I don't know if you guys have come to any of those, but they're pretty fun. They're put on by the City of Aurora Cultural Department. And the next one is Friday, and the theme is all about Eve. So that's the next one. We're also doing a summer kickoff cookout here at Malley. We're gonna do hamburgers and hot dogs. We're gonna have live band, mainly just to promote the summer programs that we're doing. So we're kind of excited about that. The band is really good. Do Beatles covers, and so that should be really fun.
When is that?
That is on June 6th from noon to 2. I'm sorry, June 6th. It's a Thursday. Yeah, 6th.
I'm sorry, wait a minute.
12 to 2. So you're all
Take the
invited.
Place of the BOA.
We can do it that way. I think we still need to provide the lunch in the lobby, but they're welcome to, it's a free event. So if they'd rather just come to lunch, they
Okay.
can. So we can talk about that too.
Is this open to whoever, or is it the 55+ crowd? So if I do it.
I think I mean, my inclination is to say everyone is welcome. It is on a Thursday. I guess school will be out, so there may be some kids, but it's Thursday, yes. And we do have 4 sponsors for that to help with some of the food costs, which is great. So yeah, I mean, we really are tailoring our programs to the 55+ population, but we would hate to deter someone who's maybe caring for their grandchildren from coming. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there you go.
We've had kids show up to the ice cream, so.
Yeah, right, totally. We're not gonna turn people away. And then one more event we're doing with the Arapahoe Philharmonic, who's offering their, 2 of the members are offering their services on June 21st to do a musical memories presentation. And so they are gonna come and do some classical music that represent like the foxtrots, the cha-cha, like all those dances you see on Dancing with the Stars. And people can choose to dance or just sit and enjoy the music. So we'll have some light refreshments and just some fun music, and it's a free event. So
Yeah.
that is on June 21st.
What time?
Oh, gosh, let me tell you the time. I don't have it all memorized in my brain. Unfortunately, can't fit that much in there. Sorry, guys. 12:30 to 1:30, it's just an hour. So we'll have lunch and then we'll have some music.
And the first one, I'm sorry, I
Mhm.
can write it down.
Oh, sure, it's a live radio show
Oh, yes.
and it's all about Eve. Is the
And you
title.
said it was Friday?
It's Friday from 1:30 to 3:30.
So it's this Friday?
It's this Friday, yes.
1:30 to.
3:30. Mhm. And that is a ticketed event, so that is $13 a person.
Can you buy tickets at the door?
You sure can. Yeah, we don't turn people away. We'll just put more chairs up. So that's kind of the quick snippet. Any questions about what we're doing here? or-
Said all about.
All about Eve, yep.
A little more casual. That's right.
Yes, yes, very casual. Absolutely. Thanks for asking.
So on the 21st, is it a little bit more dress up?
No, it's really whatever people want to wear, they're welcome to wear. I always say, wear what you feel great in,
And do you have like any, for the 21st, any flyers or anything out there?
We will. Marketing's working on it right now.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions? We'll move on to Parks, Recreation, Library, and Golf.
Yeah, so we're still proposing moving forward with a bond come November, and so what we have on our website, and I'll pass these around if you don't have one or want to see more. Is all the projects listed. We'll go in front of council in June to go through the projects once again and see if they want to move forward with what we have proposed. You want to go? This one? You probably know how to find it, but, and so, yeah, we're still proposing 50 million. I've had staff going through all potential projects throughout our parks system and looking at the rec center and Pirates Cove to see if we weren't gonna get the bond, what does that mean for our future? And ultimately, it's the 50 plus probably another 40 on top of it if you look at the next 20 years of what the bond would cover. So we're around $90 million of need over the next 20 years with aging infrastructure in not only the park system, but in our facilities as well. Malley's doing fairly well. I mean, we could always go up and further if we wanted to expand Malley. But at this point, it's serving the population we're looking to. Our new senior service manager will be working hopefully with a consultant to develop an active aging plan that will show the true need of Inglewood and the future of what our senior population is going to look like and what those needs are, as well as who we're not serving now. And so it's all encompassing in the future need of our city. But we're hoping with this bond, we can knock out a lot of that. And so future funding, we have an unassigned fund balance that often council will tap into for special projects or other capital projects. Some of that funding may be used, and it's not a lot. It's not 50 million. It's, I think, 12, 16 million right now is unassigned fund balance. And so, and there's a lot of need throughout our city. And so we're trying to prioritize all of these projects for the next 20 years to be able to ensure we have some sort of funding coming in to make the upgrades we need to, so it doesn't end up costing our residents and our city more in the long run. And so again, in June, we'll go back in front of city council to present the projects we're proposing, 10 parks, 2 facilities, and see what the appetite is to move forward. If the bond passes at 50 million, a $500,000 home is around $133 annually that you'd be paying. Our previous bond that was 16 million, everybody was paying about $85 a year for that bond for the last 20 years. And that bond did sunset. So this would be a new financial feed into the city to do these improvements. So take a look at the website. So if you're on social media, we're posting almost daily, if not a couple times a day, just the project so people can get an idea of what we're proposing.
When we met last time, I think we talked about the golf course clubhouse is either gonna be rebuilt or fixed or any progress. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought of that yesterday when one of the sinks didn't work.
Right.
It's like, okay, what's next?
No, that's good. And I'm glad you're thinking of that. So we are in process of doing a financial master plan with Broken T currently. We're using a consultant that's actually out of state. He comes in next week to go through all the finances and all the capital need. And we're close to $2 million in capital need, and our internal facilities team is saying it's probably 2.5 to 3 million for a brand new clubhouse. And so we'll work with this financial consultant that does this for golf courses around the US to determine, is this something we want to scrape and build new, or is the building feasible enough to just fix and repair and continue going for the next 20 years? And that's kind of how we're looking at all these projects, is we can put tape on it and make sure it holds for tomorrow. But if we build new or completely renovate, it'll be hopefully good for 20 years. Our rec center's turning 40 this year, next year. 40 years old. And so, I mean, all of our facilities are aging like Broken T is. And the Broken T is pretty noticeable. When you walk up to the clubhouse, the siding is falling apart. We could paint it, but that only lasts about a year and then you're back in the same boat. So they're looking at everything from roof down for that building to see if it's something that needs to be scraped and built new or just repair. And then also the course is Rick Phelps Jr. His dad actually designed and built that course back when Broken T came to. His son's now in the same business and understands the course very well. And so recently we had some drone work done where they flew the whole course and he is using that data. It took a lot of data, topography as well as the moisture in the soil. It checked everything for us. And so Rick will be able to take all that data and put it together and show what changes we can make to the course to make it more player friendly, make the user experience a nice one, because we do get complaints often of the course conditions, the pathways, a lot of different things. And so, yes, that is in progress and we should have more updates probably at the next trust fund meeting. We'll have seen the financial plan and council will get that about the same time.
So, Foothills Golf Course just opened their new club.
How much did that cost? Because I've visited that.
No, but
It's huge.
It's huge, and you've got like 50-foot ceilings, which I don't understand, what, you have to eat that and all that. But they've tried to get, I guess, more special events. They've got a simulator going in,
Mhm.
and City Park Golf Course in Denver, theirs is the same thing. They built this huge structure with, multi-use type of things. So maybe you could recoup some of the
It's
capital
possible.
expense by now offering, they have that one little room off the dining. room.
It's not big enough.
Not for weddings, not for special events, so maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna be looking at. We've kind of talked to the staff and we're all dreaming big of what it could be. We have great views of Denver from the clubhouse. You go up 2 stories and build from that and maybe the event center's up top. If we did a new building, we could do things like that, but that's just money. So all things are being considered until they're not due to financial reasons. Yeah, good question.
At one of our meetings, maybe our last meeting, I believe you mentioned that the golf course is like independent.
It is, it's an enterprise fund.
It's like,
It's an enterprise fund, so the city does not finance it. No general funds, like Malley uses general funds, most of Parks and Recreation does. But the golf course is enterprise, so any money they bring in funds their operations.
funds are operation. So they have on and
About annually, it's about 200,000 on a good season that is over all expenses. And so it took us about 10 years to get $1.3 million to do the irrigation on the back 9. And so if we do need to replace the clubhouse, that's not gonna last us another 10 years. That may be where we come to city council and take a loan from the city, from the golf course and pay it back with an interest rate. That would be it'd be beneficial to both the city and the golf course. So there's some options we're looking at. Because ultimately, if we have, let's just pretend it's $5 million or $6 million in need, and they've only got $500,000 in the bank and making 200,000 annually, it's gonna be years before we see any massive improvements there. So there's some options we're looking at, and hopefully that financial advisor can also come in and give us some other ideas. There are some grants for buildings, if you make them more green type buildings or LEED certified buildings. And so there's options we're looking at.
So with that, we have oh my gosh, and I'm so bad at this, I'm sorry, you guys. On Saturday, celebrating good.
Yes,
Oh, got it right.
good job, yeah.
So will Broken T be there and offering, like, I don't know, punch cards or whatever?
They, we'll have some information.
When Bob was still running, some company came in or talked him into, convinced him to sell like a 3-year, really cheap.
Oh, that would be terrible,
pass.
but
And you couldn't get on the course on a weekday and.
I'm thinking for Father's Day or
Sure.
something, hey, try out
Gift
a course,
cards.
here's a gift card,
Yeah,
or,
sure.
selling it or something.
We'll have them as part of the rec booth. They were gonna be talking internally about what they wanted to offer. Saturday's a busy day and they don't have a lot of staff available to come over to our event, so, but we'll be representing them.
So I'm just. We've had this discussion. Broken T has one of the lowest,
Green fees,
Yeah.
not true at all anymore,
it is not,
not true at
so
all.
he was the lowest.
Denver's cheaper,
How
again,
many courses does Denver have?
5. Foothills and Meadows are cheaper, and I'm only basing this on senior weekday rates.
Oh, and I'd be basing it on weekend
Okay,
regular rates. So like I played the par 3 this last weekend for $13 walking. When I played, it was Fox Hollow. I paid 26 walking.
And Box Hollow's like the out
That's
west. one?
Lakewood, yeah, Lakewood area.
Marsh and Road West.
It varies. And so this will be part of the presentation from our financial. He's looking at all rates across the Front Range. We're not gonna go into the mountains and look at what they're doing because they're different. book,
Yeah,
But
so the two of you are looking at two different.
I played Englewood yesterday. They eliminated the resident rate, which I still, even on the weekday, there's no more resident discount. And the rationale that I was told was because it wasn't being used enough. And that to me was kind of counterintuitive. It's like, if you don't have that many people in Englewood, give them the deal. You know, whatever it is, $2, $5 off. But weekday rates are substantially lower than weekend rates. Senior fees are lower than
But and
regular
that's
road rates.
everywhere, correct?
Everywhere.
most places, yeah.
Denver doesn't have a resident rate anymore. Everybody gets the same rate. Englewood, again, eliminated the resident rate. So that's probably a thing in the past, but senior rates are definitely the way to go for people here at home. There's definitely a discount from playing weekdays as a senior.
Forgot what I was going to say.
You were thinking we were cheap, that Englewood's rates.
Well, it sounds like, so on the weekend and stuff like that, it sounds like we definitely are. During
Well,
the-
we'll do a cost comparison.
$49 for me to walk yesterday, $49. Again, comparing it to any other rate that I pay, it's high. I think it's high, but again, I'm not comparing.
And
it.
that's
It's not a
all.
play weekends elsewhere.
And that's on a Sunday. So, well, and you'll be presenting, I'm really curious what it would be. So I guess my question would be then, we would need, I would like to know when you present
Mhm.
the differences, like you're saying, senior during the week, senior on the weekend, regular rate
Mhm.
during the week, regular rate on the weekend.
Yeah, it's quite a chart.
And
Yeah, it's,
well, you know how I like information.
I know, yeah, that'll be something that's one of the top things we've asked for as part of the financial master plan, because we have heard you are the cheapest, but then we also heard your course conditions are horrible. And I'm like, well, if we raise rates, we can spend more money on new sod or new course conditions and make them better. So-
And do we track it all? And I know we're kind of going off course and I'm sorry, but, do we track resident versus non-resident when people check in?
Not more resident discount.
No, I mean, we can track addresses if you put your address in and see,
It
but
just is,
yeah.
yeah.
And some of the courses have gone through, what do they call that, where it's like, your rate changes depending on.
Oh, dynamic pricing.
Dynamic price. Some of the courses have gone through dynamic pricing. Yeah. there was
Well,
one-
you can benefit from that though, because if you play on a Tuesday at noon and nobody's booked it, now your rate's $12 and it should have been $50. So there's some benefits, but it also will spike your prices. Coming from Arizona, I mean, I paid $250 for the same course in the summer that was only $60 or whatever, you know, so they do high season there. And so, yeah, when I have to pay $50 to play around a golf, I'm like, this is cheap.
So I take it you've not taken advantage of the new golf carts then?
I don't ride, I won't.
For your vacation.
Yeah, so more to come. If you guys want to hear more about that when we have it, we can do kind of a high level presentation. Otherwise, council will probably get a full presentation of all the data in the near future. Sometime later in the
Thank
summer.
you for enduring some of mine. It's nice to hear.
You just gotta get out and watch.
too. Oh, no, we've had the full discussion on me and, yeah, the damage I caused. I'm the reason why you'd need a something over your digital.
Definitely.
I was hanging around instead.
I think I told you the last time I played golf at a caddy. And we got finished and I said, so what do you think of my game? And he said, well, I think it's interesting. I prefer golf.
He said that after.
That's not-
It's rough, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I've got.
Okay, move on to base Logan Park.
Yeah, so Base Logan Phase 2 has been approved by council for construction. We are holding off on doing any of that construction because it is for the new playgrounds. And the new playground has been ordered, but it's delayed until this fall to arrive. So the decision was made to keep the park up and running, and as is, the new restroom and picnic shelter are all open for public use. But come this fall, probably August timeframe or early September, you'll see some construction going on there with the brand new inclusive playgrounds. And some other upgrades. We have submitted for a grant for the final phase of Base Logan, so a $600,000 grant with Arapahoe County to pretty much finish off the remaining part of the park that's left. So more to come. We'll find out probably end of July or early August if we've received that grant, and then we start planning for Phase 3. So that park will be one of 2 fully renovated parks when all said and done. Bigger Park's one, and then Base Logan will be the second. Neither are on the Baum project since they've been renovated.
You recall if the playground's gonna be somewhere adjacent park?
It's gonna be, I'm gonna say better. It's gonna be bigger, it's inclusive, so if an adult or a child's maybe in a wheelchair, has a disability, this playground is for them and for all able-bodied people too. So we're very excited to get this. If you're familiar with Dr. Temple Grannon, one of the pieces, she actually worked with this playground designer to design because she's autistic. So we're really excited to be part of that project and putting something in Inglewood that we don't have yet. It'll be exciting. That's all I've got. And then unless there's more questions.
One of the summer hiring programs.
Yeah, Brady wants to talk about
That's in
that.
full swing. Programs start. The farm and train will open up on the 25th of this month, Memorial Day weekend. Same thing with Pirates Cove, and a lot of the summer programs will start the week after that. Is when they come into play. Hiring's going pretty good with all the programs. Pirates Cove is still in need of lifeguards. There are about 60 lifeguards right now, and if they're fully staffed, they have 125 lifeguards. So they're a little bit short. You can fully manage the park or have staffing if you get up to about 70. But the problem is once you get into July and into August, there's a lot of staff because they start going back to school and especially with college kids and stuff. So still a little bit short of lifeguards, but a lot of work's going on up there. And also I'll throw in there, besides summer hiring programs, is the recreation center. The renovation is still going pretty good. The front counter is almost done. There's a couple pieces that still have to be installed with that one. And then there's still some work to be done in the IT room in the back one, but probably we'll be able to take that back over or turn over to us probably in a couple weeks. Where staff will be able to go back into that front counter staff area and then also get away from the lobby. So it'll be a lot easier for them. And then work continues. They started framing lobby restrooms last Friday. And then they're continuing to work on the aquatics training area with that one. So there was some more remediation that had to be done in that area. So that work was going on at the end of last week. So things are starting to move again pretty good.
You have a estimated date on the lobby restrooms?
I don't, and I don't want to put a time out there because it got pushed back an awful lot. But we're probably looking at, 2 to 3 weeks probably before they open back up. Because it just got to where they had to be totally gutted because there was a leak in the piping. So there was some mold in there too, so they had to totally gut the whole area. And then the more remediation had to come in and do it, and they got that done, so now they've got the okay to start framing and everything else, but it should go pretty quick now.
Anybody have any questions on any of that? All right.
And I'll just add before you go to the next section, May 25th, Saturday at 9 AM, the train is gonna have its ribbon cutting. So come out to Bellevue Park and we'll have official invitations sent out if you'd like to attend that. It'll be a short ribbon cutting ceremony, so the train can keep going with all the kids and the
Absolutely.
summer festivities. We're very excited. So May 25th, 9 AM.
All electric train.
Saturday.
All electric train. It is, it's just gorgeous. It's as safe can be. It's gonna be handicap accessible. There's gonna be a wheelchair ramp. We can take one wheelchair per run. And the track is the same as it's always been. They've replaced a number of ties of where they've rotted out, they replaced the ties. We had to lower the roof of the train 3 inches. That wouldn't fit through the,
Oh,
it
no.
was like a cartoon.
Oh,
Trying to get it. Well, the tunnel, the height of the train was fine, but as the tunnel
Oh,
does this, then with the sides being this high. So it wasn't that big a deal, but it was a big deal. We have a little PA system now, we play music,
You can make announcements as you pass the habitat tree, what that is.
which I can do my dad jokes all the way around.
Is there more knee room?
Oh, you're gonna like it. I mean, you're gonna still think it's a little tight. Yeah.
Hardest time on that.
There is still going to be, even after lowering it 3 inches, the roof is higher than it was before, because that was a headbanger.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, after 12 years, I still bang my head getting in and out of the train, but it's bigger now, and the seats are wider than they were by, I'm not sure, I'd have to look at the other specs, but I'm gonna say 5 or 6 inches wider. So 3 adults could actually sit if they cramp, or an adult and 2 children have a lot of in each row now. So we've lost 2 rows of seating for the wheelchair, but I'm saying they're a little bit wider, so it will do it.
did you say you did drive it already?
Yes,
Oh,
while the factory rep was here,
oh, okay.
he took us, we did a familiarization ride, and I drove it for a lap, and I'll drive it quite a bit between now and opening, just so that.
How long does it take to charge it?
It actually, if it's charged at 100% overnight in the tunnel, we lose approximately 2% per round. And then it's charged in the tunnel, as well as there's a charging station at the train station. So each time that we pull in and stop, for the time that it takes us to unload and load the train, it's capable of actually recharging twice what we used. So it can charge.
Oh, that's
If
cool.
we use 2, it can charge 4. It doesn't start charging until we're down to 70%. So we can, it's possible that we can go all day without needing to charge. Because
Wow.
30 revolutions is 30 to 35 is a real busy day.
Mhm.
I think that our turnaround time is going to be a little bit faster, because I can make the announcement on the PA as we're taking off. And that'll save just a little bit.
I think the real test is gonna be the bitter cold in the winter during the
The Holiday Express.
holidays.
Yeah, you lose a little bit more in the winter time.
Right.
We discussed that.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
It's a big thing, and they said we should be fine. Because we can hook up the charger to it, we don't come in the station.
Every time we come into the station, there's a pad on the ground, and then there's a shoe in the train. And when we pull up to the exact spot, it just drops down and charges. We don't have to look at anything.
That's nice.
And I have a standard
Now that we
suspicion,
can government.
if I was a thief
Smart.
and I was looking to get some real good copper, I would cut that cord where the cord goes into the tunnel to charge the train. And I don't know, I'm,
It's not visible at all, but
oh, it's 100% visible.
now you can do something.
And I think that eventually we'll just end up, I'd be willing to bet, I don't know why we didn't do it in the first place, put a shoe in the tunnel. So that we don't have to have an external
Yeah.
cord coming in, and there's zero room. Now, I'm told that people have gone in there and didn't have any trouble plugging it in, but that's a pretty good sized cable. And there's no room on the left side of that train,
Right.
in the tunnel. So it's gonna be a challenge just plugging it in.
So it's housed in the tunnel and it's not.
Yes.
It's parts of the tunnel,
We lock it in there.
and
Yeah.
the doors come down, and it's.
So I wonder if there's a way to, we conceal that copper then, because people.
No, it can't, there's a number of reasons why they had to put it where they put it. Oh,
It makes
they
sense why.
put it on the left side of the tunnel because it'd be too much trouble to put it on the right side of the tunnel. And that would have been a whole lot easier to plug in charging rest, but
Right, but I'm saying, can it be where the copper's visible for people? Could it be covered or something
Concealed, yeah.
concealed where it can't be?
You don't see the copper, it's just a cable.
it's just, imagine a battery cable,
Yeah.
a battery cable that's about that big around. And and here again, it may never happen, but
Well, if somebody tries to do it, we'll know who it is, because they won't survive that.
I was going to ask what they did.
It's Q20, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, both places.
maybe that's our security.
And following, here's a question. Do we have any kind of video cameras in that area or
We're
anything?
gonna say yes, because it's on recording, we're working on
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just got fibering in the farm this spring. So we'll be able to hook up cameras or two, so.
it. IT's kind of working on that.
Yeah, I'd say if anything, real quick, get a ring camera to the.
I think something,
Or Amazon, I keep getting those Amazon business on my, city mail, I'm like, what is? So,
we can't lock the power of the power switches on or off, which is a real shame because I'm told that there's a way to screen that area so that somebody can't get in there
Right.
and play with that at night.
I know our park supervisor is really worried about it. He's working for some solutions that maybe will work. but-
I guarantee you, he'll come up with something because it's just dangerous.
So I think it is, yeah.
The clientele in that park after dark is questionable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Scott, how many drivers are you training to run the train besides yourself?
Currently, there'll be 3 drivers. We hope that I won't say any more about it. That we've got another driver that's been there for, I want to say 3 years. He's very reliable. And then we've got somebody else that we just don't know anything about. He hasn't showed up for any training yet, but we're hoping for the best.
Are you interested in this?
If it wasn't for the fact that I don't have spare time, sure.
You got time to play golf on Saturday?
Basketball, baseball.
He's a coach
I'm not a coach.
in his mind.
I'm uncoachable.
Yeah, so anyway, there's 3 people.
How
And
many of them are women?
no, we did have a woman for a very short time, or I think most of the season. And she didn't like it. So,
I think it'd be kind of fun.
It could be.
well, it does sound fun. Until it's 90 degrees.
And you're on ride 29 around the
And
playground.
yeah, it does turn,
Bring the kids.
it does turn into work. The kids are the best part of it. Best part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer kids over parents any
Yeah.
day. And
Okay.
grandparents are the worst, so.
Oh,
It's because I'm one, I can say it, so.
greatest job ever invented with grandpa.
Grandpa.
So that's pretty much it for Chairman's Choice. I was just gonna say the train's here. It's gorgeous. It's worth
Yeah.
coming down. to see.
Exciting.
They're pretty.
My understanding is the price isn't going up this year, which is what, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, $3, it's gonna be per ride.
What's gonna be 3?
Yeah.
3, but it went from 250 to 3, but they are selling the punch pass for the old price, so 10 rides for the 250.
Oh,
So
for
for
kind
point
of
three,
track that you.
Punch it
punch it.
every time you go.
So when you go,
You get a token when you go, and then
I
you give
got
it to the driver when you go to ride.
have a touch on
Well, and that's, there's a ticket window and I suppose, well, with that's minor.
because like at the holiday thing, God, the youngest granddaughter, that's all she wanted to do. The other one wanted to do crafts only, so grandpa and her did nothing but crafts. The other one's like, man, just send me wherever. She bounced back and forth, so, because Chloe, they had to cut her off from the crafts. They're like, we think you've done enough.
How old is she? How old is she?
She just turned 7,
Oh, perfect. She can volunteer next year and help
Yeah.
other kids do crafts all night
Yeah,
long.
there you go.
Now, you know what, she would too.
Which,
I think she made like 8 ornaments, you know, and then the little
Awesome.
freaky things,
Yeah.
she saw those, she's like, we can do, there's my let's go. So, so we did the training several times. I think best in the closet were hired, so.
Yeah, that is an awesome event, I have to say. Right.
Trustees Joyce, Mitch, you have anything?
I got nothing.
How did the April 27th cleanup go? Or do we?
it got postponed, so the Earth Day event was canceled altogether because of the rain that day. South Platte Renews cleanup was also postponed. I think they rescheduled that.
For, not this Saturday.
I think it's next Saturday. This Saturday, celebrate Inglewood at the Civic Center, from 10 to 2. So I think it is 18th is the cleanup now. Yeah.
All right, and then, let's see, I think it was the, article about Volunteers for America, you know, I know
Yeah.
that many people know about it, but I would think this is something that could be included. Right, you know,
Sure.
regular basis, because it was just really
Good.
well written and done.
Excellent. Good.
Yeah.
I think they have plans to do that, Joe. We just met with marketing last week
Yeah.
and they have a schedule of when they're gonna market things throughout the year and
Okay,
that program was on their list multiple
Was it?
times.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
so that's good.
Good,
We want to promote
thanks.
that.
Well, and speaking of VOA,
Yep.
I just heard on the news this morning, or maybe it was yesterday, that coming back into style is bingo.
Oh, yeah. we
Bingo
love
is back
bingo.
in
Oh,
fashion.
I'm not kidding about it.
Bingo is back in fact, and we're doing bingo once a month. Tell all your friends.
Yeah,
Bingo on the second Thursday of every month. And it's at 11 o'clock. And we play bingo until lunch starts at 11:30. And so there's, I guess we're still doing the $5 gift card.
we are. Yeah,
King Supers
yeah.
as a prize for bingo league, and everybody gets together and has a good time.
And it's a come for bingo, stay for lunch. So we're trying to like.
Yeah, exactly. And with that- And lunch has been, the VOA lunch has been.
Booming. Yeah,
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
I know. Today was good new hamburger day.
I put.
Oh, hamburger day is coming. Well,
Yeah.
cheeseburger day is 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, we'll have another
2 weeks,
good
That's
crowd.
even worse. They're bigger.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
right.
Okay, anything else? Anybody?
Just one thing. This last Saturday, historic preservation, the museum up on the second floor had its soft opening. I believe next Saturday or next week is when it is open. So the theme for the initial opening is going to be Cinderella City.
Mhm.
So the mall where, you know, the, city center is now, and it's actually pretty neat. I've toured it and I've looked at different things as they were, building it out. So it's where the Museum of Outdoor Arts used to be, the indoor part of it. And they actually have like this theater room. And someone put together a 3D, almost movie
Oh, cool.
of Cinderella City, of what it used to be. So they took all these pictures and stuff. So, and for those that remember Cinderella City have the Cinderella, they have the old sign in there, the original sign, and then you have different parts of the mall. So you could actually do this 3D tour in the theater room of Cinderella City of what it used to be, and then they have different things there. So, and it's, Historic Inglewood that put that together, and they're going to have different exhibits and stuff like that. And like I said, Saturday was their soft opening. I believe they're officially opening next Saturday. So, I can't tell you how much tickets are, but I would invite everybody to go in there, especially if you've been in Colorado. Cinderella City for a long time was the biggest mall west of the Mississippi. So a lot of history there and stuff, so I would invite everybody to check it out. So, thank you.
Well, that just brings up a hopefully very quick question. What's happening with the train depot?
What do you mean?
It originally was gonna be that guy with the printing press thing.
Oh,
Then there was.
I'm at Scott's depot. Come on, I'm having yours.
Somebody went in and cleaned my depot. and I didn't like it.
He actually, I received some council communication that, received some prints from him, last council meeting. They have applied for 2 additional permits to do more work. So I do know that they go to a lot of the schools and events and stuff like that. As the printing, people, and they do, show historic type of printing, the way they used to print in the olden days, I guess. And they have applied for permits. I don't recall what permits they were asking for, or applied for, but they are doing work, on it. They're still trying to do stuff.
That's as much as I know too.
That's that's a really long time that's been in process.
Yeah. Don't disagree there.
Well, historic Inglewood wanted it. Stuff.
Yeah,
But-
it's a sore spot. It's a sore spot for me, it's a sore spot for a lot of people. So.
All right, be that as it may, anything else?
Move to adjourn.
I can.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.